Bye. That was a bit abrupt. Abrupt change of stuff. Right. Hello. I had a nice break from streaming yesterday. I'm still sipping on my breakfast. No live 2D today because I'm a bit under the weather. I woke up at like 3 AM. Really, really thirsty. So I chugged down some water. And then pretty much immediately threw it up. And then I couldn't go back to sleep until like 6 AM. So that happened. Not still a little bit under. But I'm slowly sipping on my liquid breakfast. Up and go. Vanilla flavored. And I'm hoping I can keep it down. So this stream will probably be pretty short, depending on how long Scien and Yves' endings are. Sweet. So we are starting with Scien, Brofiese's happy ends. Salvation end, I should say. They're not all super duper happy endings. Some of them are bittersweet, like last stream, Lucas's salvation end did end with both of them dying, but with the hope that they will be reincarnated, reborn. And yeah, that's kind of the hope, that they'll be reborn eventually together. So she ends. Mathis's was a lot better, actually, really. Mathis's salvation end was that they escape John. John lets us go, and yeah, Scien manages to fix Mathis, so he doesn't need daily uploads. He'll just need minor maintenance, and eventually we'll be able to give him a normal human lifespan. Ceres ends up saving to become a reliver so that she can be with Mathis longer, and they both fully believe that they'll be able to fall in love over and over and over again. And it meets with Mathis being fully fixed by Scien, but he's forgotten his memories, but falls in love with Ceres at first sight. And then, of course, eventually when Ceres can become a reliver, she'll have to fall in love with him again, and they just kind of have a hopeful ending that they're together and they're making whatever they have work. And then there's also a hint that Scien starts going back to fully focusing on fixing the curse and curing the world. So we'll see where Scien's actual salvation heads to. I do think Scien's end can also be quite happy. And we're picking I Look Up to You. And then we're jumping to unread. Honestly, because I'm skipping till the unread text, the stream is going to be probably pretty short. But that's fine, because then tomorrow we can start Olympia Soiree and get introduced to a whole new cast of characters and a whole new world. And that is not as dark as this. There might be some dark moments in Olympia Soiree, I think, but it's not going to be anywhere near the level of that. Oh, I thought we were still skipping. Damn, damn. I could tell a god was about to be born. Maybe I should not have skipped, because now I'm confused. I'm not unsure what's happening. It's okay. The security system unlocked, and the door I tried to block slammed open, blowing back the barricade. I moved back before the devices fell where I stood, but
Scien-san!
the person we were fighting found his way inside. Oh, right, yeah, we were going to do something. And Dahut, because he's been given... He pretty much took over Xian's position for a reason. Yeah, that's why he's trying to stop us. But he's also been subtly helping us on the side. Dahut has been leading the Institute Guards and the Royal Guards to stop us. But it was too late. Welcome, everyone. A new Reliver has been born. Right, yeah. I quietly moved aside, and behind me...
遅かったな、ダハト。
Oh, look at him! So, I can't remember what happens in the Despair end. I'm guessing we don't get there in time? Like, as in we don't finish it in time and we're stopped halfway. The Nucian Brofiise was sitting boldly upon his research device as if it were a throne of wisdom. On the floor were several bodies that looked like Scien, with their chests carved out. Yes! Okay, that's what was... So yeah, he theorized that if he could keep reliving himself over and over and over and carving out the hearts of his previous forms and then pumping that back into himself, he would be able to expand the memory of a reliver the way Dahut kind of wants. I think. The current Xian's chest bore rushed incision marks and a heart pulsing underneath. Seeing him, Dahut's face suddenly went pale.
それはまさか新たなメモリー
Yeah, he was trying to up the memory.
ご名答。お前がすぐには実現不可能だと語っていた。
But the thing is, Dahut will help us now, I think, because this is exactly the progress Dahut wants to make for his mother.
手順自体は単純だ。メモリーのメイン部分を切り取り、連結させた上でベースの心臓に組み込んだ。複数の他者の心臓をつなぎ合わせることで不具合が起きるのならば、自分自身のリライバーを複数生み出せばいいだろう。
Yeah. I do feel like this is probably a temporary fix, but it's the best option they have right now. And other words, he created an artificial heart.
でもそれだとメモリーの容量が増えるだけで感情は消滅してしまいます。
いいや、それならすでに蘇らせた。
Which is something Scien manages to do also in not Eve's, in Adolpha's ending. In Adolpha's ending, it mentions that Scien manages to reawaken his emotions after having them be gone for so long. Because Scien was never emotionally to begin with when he was human, but like he literally lost everything after reviving so many times.
No.
メモリーの増強手術は記憶のダウンロードまで済ませた状態で行った。つまりその際に全てのクローン体が受けた痛みも苦しみも、
and then he remembers that he feels it still. Oh, look at that. He's shirtless, but look, you can see the little stitchy marks on his chest. They're covering his nipples. They're acting. The gore is acting as censorship, and I think it's funny, just a little bit.
そんな全員分の痛みを一気に受けたらショック死してもおかしくないですよ。
そう、俺はその衝撃を利用させてもらった。手術時に受けた痛みを与えることで、かつてオリジナルが所有していたであろう感情を、神としての感覚を無理やり蘇らせる。いわゆるショック療法というやつだな。
So he used the shock to his advantage to kind of jumpstart his emotions.
俺ならできる。いや、もう実践済みだ。
Refine the process, make it a little less painful, and then you'll be able to do it for everyone. Dahut looked to the results that he had spent years in pursuit of, having been achieved in just a short amount of time. He fell to his knees. The god looked down at him.
さあ見ろ、ダハト。これがお前たちが長年求め、渇望した。
And now they can dedicate years to refining it, smoothing it out, making sure it's not as gruesome.
この国で初めて全ての感情を引き継いだリライバーだ。
Despite being open to attack, Dahut and the soldiers didn't move. Rather, they couldn't. They knew simply by looking at his eyes that the person in front of them wasn't just a person calling himself a god anymore. The existence they had beheld was trying to enter a new realm beyond that of mere mortals.
ああ、頭が冴える。今の俺ならいかなる真理にでもたどり着けそうだ。あと一歩足りなかった時間と可能性をバカにしてきた感情とともに俺は得た。
But the research and experiments he conducted for his reliver technology wasn't in vain.
生身の人間や最初期の脆いリライバーでは今の解剖作業を完遂する前に死んでいただろう。随分と遠回りをしたものだが成果が残るというのはいいものだな。
Scien was able to bear the operation that he conducted on his own body because of the pain and suffering he went through. Here. Scien stood from the device and took the lab coat I was holding for him. He spread his lab coat and put it on. He then looked at Dahut sitting on the floor, then at the soldiers and the researchers looking on before taking a deep breath.
俺が逃げのためにクローン体を作るのはこれが最後だ。バックアップなど不要。残り23年。いや、そんなにいらんな。俺の雑用係が死ぬまでの数年の間でこの国を蝕む呪いを解き国民を救ってみせよう。それまではメモリーの増強も一般化し感情も引き継げるようにしてやる。
Yay! He spread his arms wide as a challenge to death.
そして解くのは呪いだけじゃない。セレスが死神と呼ばれるゆえんもこの
I
俺
love
が
how the
突き止め
sprite doesn't have the gore on his chest because, yeah. I mean, I guess they're a bit. It makes sense that they're not gonna like edit the sprite just for one tiny little scene. The reason for that was twofold. He proclaimed with excitement, an emotion he didn't have before, as his voice got louder.
なんせ俺が困るからな。根性ではこれから死神に初恋をし、老いるまで共にいる予定だからな。ちなみに子供は最低でも2人作るつもり。
I also plan on having at least 2 kids. Scien, I love you. I also plan on having at least 2 kids.
はい
I don't think you needed to add that part, honey, but I love Scien. Scien. I also plan on making babies. Oh, wow. His proclamation changed into something I didn't expect at all. Scien disregarded me as I went completely red and called out Dahat's name, who was still looking on in shock.
だからダハト、こちらにつけ。俺はお前を評価している。
I will give you what you want. Without you having to go psycho crazy and taking over the kingdom. Which I think is kind of... That's the thing about Dahat, right? Is that he really only wants to revive his mother to be herself with her emotions and her memories. And that's kind of the heart of his goal. I don't think there's any risk of Dahat going psycho crazy. If he can get what he wants, his mother revived the way he wants, without having to do all the crazy shit he did in Adolphus' route, then I think he's fine. Of course, he already made his move to end the conflict with the royal family.
ダートさんなんですか今ちょっと結構真面目な雰囲気で忙しいんですけど
The researcher barged into the room as everyone stood confused by the situation. Beads of sweat were rolling down his face.
ここでの会話がなぜか研究所内に放送されていて研究員全員が混乱状態に陥っています
And now Dahat kind of has to side with us, right?
お前らどういうつもりだいきなり研究機材を乗っ取るなんてダハトさんの方針に賛同したんじゃないのかよ
逆らったら処刑されるって分かってるのに真っ向から反抗する奴がいるかよ僕たちはシアン所長の神としての才能に憧れて研究者になったんだ裏切るわけないだろうがそれに実直な警備兵の大半だって本当はシアン所長派だよ
なんだと
シアン所長が感情を捨てないと宣言した以上お前らだって対立する理由はないはずだ
Yeah, basically.
所長と一緒に奇跡を起こそう神の領域に至ったあの人ならきっとできる
それは
Dahat stood immediately, knowing that the tables had turned. Sorry, coughing.
それはまさか新たなメモリー
ご名答。お前がすぐには実現不可能だと。
I love when visual novels show us something that happened 5 seconds ago.
つい先ほど自分の
It's a
肉体
thing
に
in Atome games, and maybe not visual novels as a whole, but we'll get flashbacks to something that happened literally just before.
さっきその装置に触っていたの研究所内の通信機能を使っていたからだったんですね
そ その通り。やられたことをそのまま返してやった。
それはまさか
Evermore に移動。
なんですか
ごめんと。お前がすぐには実現不可能だと言っていたが、つい先ほど自分の肉体に
なんですか
Evermore に移動。
それは
まあさすがに国内中に放送することは
Yeah,
でき
he
なかった
very well could have transmitted it across the country and screwed everyone over.
だが俺の目的は十分に果たせた。ダハト、お前ならわかるだろう。
As if summoned by the transmission, two royals came running into the room.
ダハト殿、何をぼさっとしているのだ。結局この男が言っていることはただの夢物語ではないか。
No, fuck you, dipshit.
そうですよ。志が変わったところで過去の罪が消えるわけでもありません。
He shouted angrily as his spit flew through his mouth.
うん、決めた。
は？
Yeah, I wouldn't translate kimeta as got it. I would translate as yep, I've decided. Kimeta.
うん、決めた。
Kimeta is more like I've made a decision rather than got it.
王族の皆さん、申し訳ございません。僕はシアンさんにつきま
I
す。
hate you guys anyway, so I hate you guys anyway, so Shien's offered me something sweet as.
この研究所内で我らが所長シアンさんに害をなすような行為をすれば即刻追い出させていただきますね。
He bowed gracefully as a fearless smile appeared on his face, much like Shien's. With Dahat's proclamation, the guards who arrived quickly drew their weapons and pointed them at the royal family. The other researchers were probably in agreement as they quietly moved behind Dahat and Scien to show their obedience. Dahat! That's very high-pitched, I know. Dahat! There we go. Slightly better. I was overjoyed at the return of our friend.
なんだと。まさか我々を裏切るつもりか。
最初にシアンさんを裏切ったのはそっちでしょ。いいですか。今回シアンさんは僕たちが喉から手が出るほど欲していた技術を実現させてみせました。現状ではシアンさん以外で実用化するのはちょっと無理だと思いますけど、その技術をより突き詰めてみんなの感情を持続させることができれば僕たちは本物の人間になれるかもしれない。だったらシアンさんに味方するのは当然でしょ。その方が理想を実現できる可能性が高いんですから。この国を牛耳ること以外考えていない王族の皆さんよりもシアンさんの提案の方がよっぽど魅力的ですよ。それに今のシアンさんなら本当に呪いを解き明かすことも可能かもしれません。そんな彼を邪魔する意味ないですよね。
She nodded in satisfaction after seeing Dahat act like him. They walked over to greet him.
ダハト、来い。お前も俺と同じ領域に至れる人間だ。
He didn't offer his hand to bring him back as a subordinate or a friend, but instead as a rival.
神を自称するあなたにそう言っていただけるとは光栄ですね。
He showed a bit of hesitation, perhaps because he felt bad for turning his back on Scien for a while. But Dahat looked at his hands for a moment, then shook his head and grabbed hold of Shien's hand.
ふざけるな。このような茶番断じて認める。死の呪いに不用意に近づいて悪化したらどう責任を取るつもりだ。王族として感化することはできる。そなたら揃って打ち首になりたいのですか。
好きにすればいい。
Scien let go of Dahat's hand and shrugged.
俺たち研究者がいなくなったら困るのはお前たち王族だろうが。もう二度とリライバーとして生まれ変われない。そうなれば死の呪いに蝕まれて数年のうちに死ぬ。それでもいいなら殺せ。
Along with Scien and Dahut, there were no other researchers to act as their puppets. The royal family members gritted their teeth at Scien's provocation, only returning a glare.
それでいい。適度に俺たちの言うことを聞いていれば悪いようにはしない。だがまあ、今まで好き勝手してくれた礼はさせてもらうがな。
Shin's powerful kicks landed on each of their stomachs. The two were blown back and landed on the floor, unable to speak from the pain.
これに懲りたらもう二度と国民に害をなすな。生き残りたければ王宮で静かに引きこもっていろ。わかったな。
Shin. He probably said that in a reference to Adolpha and the children who died at the orphanage. Yes! Oh, that's true! They fucking killed everyone at the orphanage. And Adolpha. Right, no, yeah, they sent royal guards. And a couple of royals went with them and they killed the children at the orphanage. He would never let such a thing happen again. Scien made a very clear statement. Thank you very much. Oh yeah, and Salome is currently holding his head, I think. No, we buried his head. Scien smiled silently, hearing me give my thanks with a shaking voice. Oh. But how are we gonna cure the curse without him? Well, no. No. We mix Anku's blood with Yves' blood in order to make the cure.
残りの王族たちにも表明せんとな。だがまあ、これで決着はついた。ん?
Could that be Yves? I quickly took out the transmitter that was given to me. Is that you, Yves? Are you alright?
ああ、なんとかね。ヒューゴもちょっと怪我はしたけど、命に別状はないよ。
Oh, thank goodness.
今も館内放送でいろいろ聞こえてくるけど、作戦は成功したと思っていいのかな。
Yes, of course. Scien was able to make his experiment a reality. Are you two able to move? If not, I can go there.
マティスたちに助けを頼んだから大丈夫だ。だからあんたらはそっちに集中してくれ。まだやらなきゃいけないことがあるんだろ。
Well,
貸せ。
Scien took the transmitter from my hand.
クルーンども、ご苦労だった。お前たちがいなければ、今回の作戦の成功はなかっただろう。感謝している。ん？聞いているのか？
Holy shit, he actually said thank you. What the fuck? Who are you?
聞いてます。けど、まさかシアンさんの口から感謝を伝えられるとは思いもしなかったので。
I mean, he's still an arrogant
驚
asshole,
いてしまって。
but he's a more thankful, arrogant asshole now.
お前らの中の俺の印象はどうなっている？まあいい。切るぞ。さて、あいつらの無事も確かめたことだし、最後にやるべきことをやるとするか。行くぞ、ダハド、セレス。
はい。
Okay. We left the laboratory, leaving behind the two silent royals and their guards. She ended us outside of the institute. There, a crowd of citizens who had heard the commotion were waiting.
ちょっと、あそこにいるの。シアンブロフィワーズじゃない？どうしてあの男がここにいるの？
やっと捕獲できたんじゃないか？まさかこれから処刑を？
拉致が開かないな。ダハド。
はいはい、お任せください。
Dahut brought out a vice that fit in his hand and stepped forward. He took a deep breath and with a loud, clear voice began explaining Scien's innocence. He said that the royal family's greed led them to pinning the blame on Scien. Of course, he also explained that there was a new hope for a new type of reliver.
結局全部王族のせいだったのか。
信じられない。私たちを騙していたなんて。
You know, sometimes the fact that the population of Arpachel are fucking sheep is a good thing. The crowd suddenly began to voice their discontent with the royal family.
単純なものだな。こうも簡単に手のひらを返されるといっそすがすがしい。
いいじゃないですか。これでこそ導きがいがあ
It
るって
just makes it
もの
more
です。
fun to control them. I'm just glad the air's been cleared. You won't have to worry about having...
騙されるな。こいつらの言うことに耳を傾けてはならぬ。
Ah, good. The royals who were kicked by Scien suddenly appeared on the scene. One of them was wobbling and holding his stomach, probably still in pain.
そうです。彼らは王族から権力を奪い取ろうとしているだけです。ここで処断しておかないと、お前たちもいつかリライバー化の権利を盾にされて脅されてしまうかもしれませんよ。
Their last resort, yelling, didn't reach the masses since they couldn't be heard without a tool to amplify their voices. Their efforts were in vain as everyone stared at their pathetic attempt with cold eyes. At this very moment, a revolution had occurred, removing the royals' family over Arpachel. I was sure the king and the remaining royals in the castle were shaking with anger.
シアンさん、あの人たちどうします？
適当に放り出しておけ。どちらに非があるのかは国民の目からも明確だ。大した。
I suppose. I doubt they'll be able to fight. The guards might appear soon and take care of. Salome! I noticed the corner of my eye, a certain person within the crowd. Mother! I stepped forward to look more closely. The figure of the person who I thought I saw was no longer there. Maybe I was mistaken, or maybe she came because she was worried? Still, something's not quite right. Why did Mother hide from me? She didn't have to do that if she came to see me, see whether we were okay. Feeling something ominous, I quickly headed into the crowd to search, but to no avail. Where did she go? She could be anywhere. What was Mother trying to?
許さない。
Oh. She's gonna kill the royal family. A shower of blood rained onto the ground. The blood was coming from...
Huh?
There was a knife stabbed into the belly of the royal named Colme, Rev Pior. No! Mother pulled out the knife from this man's stomach and looked as we looked on in horror. He fell to his own pool of blood like a puppet with its strings cut. The crowd dispersed, seeing the killer take the life of a royal with her own hands.
何をするんですか、あなた！
Assuming she would harm the public, Dahut stood in front to try and stop her. No, Dahut!
それに新所長だってすっかり王家の言いなりなのでしょ。現に施設への襲撃だって止めなかった。そんな男がまたシアンの部下になることを素直に受け入れられるのかしら。あなたたちは人の欲を甘く見すぎている。だから新所長だけは王家と共に始末した方がいい。
He didn't know that Mother was determined to kill him along with the rest of the royal family. I quickly moved in unison with Scien, but we didn't make it in time.
邪魔よ。
His stomach was pierced deep with the knife. But he has a backup, so it's fine. Dahat! Blood poured out of his body as he fell to the ground and convulsed. No! His backup! I yelled at the researchers who were listening to the speech by him earlier. They all shook their heads. Oh, I could read their lips what she said. The two deleted his data. I secretly turned and glared at the remaining royal, Dominique. Before I could make my move, she moved in front of him with a bloody knife in hand. Sensing his life was in danger, Dominique Rev Pior left Dominique, I don't know. Rev Pior left his body on the ground and ran screaming into the institute.
まさかここに来て。
We were the only ones moving in the open area, now turned into a sea of blood. She had moved to try and restrain Mother, but she quickly avoided him as she knew he was coming and... Mother, please stop!
あら、ちょうどいいわね。
She restrained me with a fake hug. Mother grabbed hold of me from the front and then turned around. Oh, great, she's using me as a hostage. She quickly moved behind me and pointed a knife to my neck as we faced Scien.
ほらね、人質にぴったりだわ。
Huh? Scien looked at Mother, who was chuckling behind me without trying to provoke her.
娘まで人質に取ろうとするとは、正気を失ったか。
And she just killed her own son as well.
何のことかしら。私は正気よ。この国の中で最も今やるべきことを理解しているわ。
王族を根絶やしにすることか。
そうよ。確かにあなたたちが成し遂げたことは本当に素晴らしいわ。でもやっぱりそれだけじゃダメなのよ。
Mother's face next to mine showed more and more hatred.
この国の海である王家を滅ぼさなければ国民たちが本当の意味で救われることはないの。そうじゃなかったらリアム、私の子供もアドルフも浮かばれないわ。だからこの子の命が惜しいのならばすぐにでも王族全員を処刑しなさい。
Her last words were like a plea. Mother, why? No matter how trapped she was in hatred.
最初は確かに打算から接触したわ。でもあなたたちと暮らしていくうちにかけがえのない存在になって。子供がいる幸福を思い出させてくれたあなたたちをとてもじゃないけど研究材料として提供する気になんてなれなかった。それだけのことよ。
I thought she would never lose her way as a mother. My question put it to Mother was instead answered by Scien.
記憶に感情が引きずられているのか。それに俺と同じで目的と手段が入れ替わっていることに気づいていない。
Which is why she made such a drastic move. Scien was able to move closer with me as a shield.
サロメ、お前の目的はこの国の呪いを解き明かすことだっただろう。一体いつから王家抹殺が目的になった？
I really hope Scien has like a secret extra backup of Dahat.
そんなことはどうでもいいのよ。私は私のやるべきことをしているだけ。目の前のことしか考えていないあなたとは違う。そうよ。王族は殺さなきゃ。殺さなきゃ殺さなきゃ殺さなきゃ殺さなきゃ。ダメダメダメダメダメダメダメダメダメ。
Like a broken transmitter, a sound unlike a human's came from her mouth. Mother, please get a hold of yourself. Any more in your memory?
完全に正気を失ったか。警備兵、肩を狙え。外すなよ。
I froze in place, I froze in place, not moving a muscle. It's just like when he yelled at me not to move and I was held hostage. The next moment, Scien's guard who came to his side let loose his arrow. The arrow grazed my cheek and then... The arrow struck my mother in the shoulder. I used the opportunity to escape her hold by purposefully falling forward into the ground. I need to blow my nose. I'm so stupid. Holy shit. I forgot to send the fucking live announcement into the Discord. I'm so dumb. I've been live for like 30 minutes. I'm so dumb. I've been streaming for almost 30 to 40 minutes. Bruh. I've never forgotten to do that before. Wow. Am I that out of it? Bruh. I'm so dumb. I have never forgotten to post that before. Shit, dude. The knife dropped from her hand and the guards who came to the scene ran in and pinned Mother to the ground. She couldn't move with her arms held behind her back, but... Mother struggled with all her might, as if she didn't mind losing her limbs if it meant she could kill her designated targets. Blood was pouring from her cuts, but she didn't look like she was in pain. In the corner of my eye, I could see some researchers hurriedly carrying Dahut away to safety. Would he have heard her mention her son Liam?
大丈夫か、セレス。
She and Red rolled me and embraced me from behind as I sat on the ground. I'm fine. But Mother... Scien, what's happening to Mother?
簡単に言うと、容量に収まりきらない感情を抱え込んだせいで、メモリーが焼き切れそうになっている。メモリーを増強した新たなリライバーになるか、死ぬことでしか助けられない。
What? Then we upgrade her memory bank. Now. Scien was able to modify the memory. That also meant she would have to bear the pain that the clone bodies endured during the revival process. But there was the way to bear such pain as a normal person. Scien, I looked at his large hand placed on my shoulder in support. Isn't there a way a mother can be saved? Yes, going through the process that he did. I placed my hand on his in desperation. No. I don't want to lose any more of my family. Unlike some stories, pleading for her to regain her senses wouldn't bring Mother back. So the only thing I could do now was, please, help me. I asked my beloved for help to save me from impending despair.
それは
そんな女救う必要などありません。
The man appeared again to outright refute my plea for help. Dominic Rev Pior, who had fled earlier, returned with some royal guard soldiers. He yelled at the top of his lungs as he looked in disgust at Mother.
子供が殺されたのだかなんだか知りませんが、あんな残虐なことをしでかすなんて、もともと欠陥があるに決まっています。そう、どうせもう気が触れてしまっているのです。だったら適当にこの女の子供の死体から中身のないクローン体を作ってやればいいではないですか。本物も偽物も区別がつかないのですから、それでこの女だって満足する。
How dare he? How dare he look down on my family like this?
黙れ。
Before I could put my anger into words, Xian's ruthless voice filled the air. Ever so clearly, his low voice sent a wave of silence over the entire area. Scien slowly helped me stand from the ground.
なるほど。これが怒りか。誰かのために奮い立つというのもまた悪くない。
His first contact with this emotion was focused on that man. He then rubbed my cheek with care.
前言撤回だ。独りよがりな犠牲はもう生まないが、煮えならば喜んで捧げよう。
Scien?
己のためだけに研究を重ねてきた身だが、初めて誰かを救うための研究をしようじゃないか。何よりこの女サロメにはセレスを俺のようなものからここまで守ってきた借りがある。
He then looked at me and smiled.
セレス、お前の願いを叶えよう。サロメをメモリーが増強されたリライバーとして生まれ変わらせてやる。そうすればあいつの狂気にも近い感情も自然と器に収まりきるはずだ。
But that also means Mother has to bear the pain and suffering. Dad even said you're the only one who could bear such pain.
そうだな。だがその苦痛のすべてを誰かに肩代わりさせた後、完成したメモリーをサロメのクローン体に移植すれば、完全にとはいかんし、不具合も生じるだろうが、正気を取り戻す可能性はある。
Someone? Is it really possible to transfer someone else's heart?
当然不可能だ。完全な他人の心臓移植など普通は耐えられない。だが、
His pupils contracted, losing the warmth he showed me, and turned his attention towards a certain man. She gently caressed my hair, then slowly moved away from me. One step, another.
お前なら多少は適合
Because
す
they're
るだろう。
related, right? Because I'm pretty sure Scien is aware that Salome is Christine. He walked toward the royal with heavy footsteps and as if to instill fear in him.
どういうことですか。そなたは何を言っているのです。
I thought about what he was trying to imply, but before I finally realized his intentions,
喜べ。お前はこの国の礎となる最後の実験体だ。
oh, that's so hot of him. Go, Scien! Scien extended his hand to the man with the total opposite of heat, frigid cold. Music to my ears. The suffering of assholes is music to my ears. Yay! So yeah, it was about just under an hour for his salvation end. If only I hadn't been a fucking dumbass and forgotten to message the Discord about it. Oh well. Anku!
結局全てを打ち明けたか。しかし
Yes, I'm assuming we fully exposed the royal family.
あの男が彼女の体質に見向きもせず、その上まさかこんな形で解決できるとは思わなかったな。私としたことがあの男の本性を見誤ったか。複雑ではあるが、彼女がこの道を選んだというのなら、私も受け入れるしかないね。さて、彼女のより良い未来のために特効薬作りに協力してやるとするか。
A few months passed. Salome awoke inside the darkness of the incubator. The fluid around her slowly drained away until it was empty. The incubator door opened and she slowly stepped out. The room's white light made her eyes throb.
サロメ、気分はどうだ？
Salome squinted her eyes to see a young man wearing a lab coat, talking to her as if there was nothing out of the ordinary.
気分も何も吐き気がするわ。私どうしてこんなところに。
お前はリライバーとして新たに転生した。前に使っていた肉体が限界だったからな。
何よそれ。何もわからない。頭の中でたくさんの思い出が渦巻いていて、胸がいっぱいになる。
Salome held her head, thinking that it must be coming from maintaining heightened emotions for a prolonged time.
その程度なら予想内の症状だ。適当に動かしていればそのうち馴染むだろう。数日経っても問題があればまた言え。で、王族のことは？
Salome froze for a moment, realizing he was asking if she still wanted to kill them. Her eyes shook for a moment. Then she shook her head.
今はただ悲しいわ。彼らが起こした悲劇も、私が犯してしまった罪も。私、人を殺してしまった。王族だけじゃない。何の罪もない研究員も。
The reality that she'd killed him due to her heightened emotions was weighing on her.
ダハトのことか。あいつのことは気にするな、とは言えん。志半ばで死んだことに変わりはないからな。
And he was your son, by the way. As Salome predicted, Dahut couldn't be saved. His stab wound was too deep. Sheeran turned to his usual self and looked like a doctor as he tapped on an old medical record on his shoulder.
精神的に不安定ではあるが、それは今まで起こったことを考えれば仕方ない。喜べ、サロメ。最終チェックはこれで終了だ。お前はこれから普通に生きられるぞ。
なんですって。人を殺した私が罪を償わず普通に生き続けていいわけが。
残念ながら今は法的設備が整っていないせいでお前を罰することはできない。これからどう償っていくのかはお前自身が決めることだ。
Salome could only look down, hearing Xien's words. So Dahut is actually dead then? No, because we know Dahut has his own copies in his own secret lab. So I'm fairly certain Dahut's fine. But I guess he can't openly come out because everyone thinks he's dead. Salome was released from the facility and she began to roam the district of Kuna. But Salome didn't have any destination in mind. Before long, she ended up at the home she had spent her life protecting. She thought about Dahut, the researcher she killed, without looking at his face. Yeah, she didn't even look at his face to recognize him. She then thought about the children who were mercilessly killed, leading her naturally to this location. But there is no one here.
ごめんなさい。みんな、私のせいで。ごめんなさい。
Perhaps some time had passed, as the orphanage didn't show a shadow of the tragedy that struck. There was no trace of the blood spattered along the walls and the ground, and neither was there a trace of the children. It was as if the tragedy never happened.
マム、おかえりなさい。
Oh, did he revive them all? She felt a childlike warmth behind her.
見ろ。
She wasn't sleeping. She wasn't sleeping. She wasn't seeing things. It was one of her dear children whom she took into her care. He was at his rebellious age. Now tears filled his eyes as he hugged her sweetly from
どう
behind.
して。
Just as Salome showed an expression of surprise, other children appeared and gathered around Salome. Weren't they all killed? Salome stood in confusion as each of the children hugged her, as if they were waiting for her love. Welcome home, Mother. From behind the children came Ceres with a joyful smile.
セレス。どうして。これは。
The children. The Corps risked their lives to somehow save some of the children when the Royal Guard attacked. It seems they were later hidden by one of our neighbors in the district. Ceres went on to explain with tears in her eyes that she only found out recently that some had made it out alive.
だったの。
Mother, we've been waiting for you to come home. We made graves for the children in the back garden. Adolpha is also home with us. Yeah, his head. She didn't lose everything. She still had many dear children here to welcome her home. Salome fell to her knees and embraced the children she could hold as she wept like a child.
本当に。ごめんなさい。
Therese walked towards her and embraced her gently. Please don't apologize. We're waiting for you. We're waiting for you to say what we want to hear.
そうね。私ったら、また間違えちゃった。セレス、見ろ。みんな。ダメなお母さんだけど、もう一度、私と家族になってくれる？
もちろん。
The children all responded with a smile at their tearful mother. Back to Ceres. Shell had changed quite a bit since then. She had regained all the rights and authority over the Institute. Thereafter, it was officially announced that the research into lifting the curse would begin in earnest, and it did. They would also embark on an investigation to the origin of the underground passage. The stolen devices seemed to be transported through this passage, which led to other locations besides the beach. I recalled Scien mentioning that the culprit behind the stolen devices should be found soon enough as he rubbed his sleepy eyes. Maybe it's a good thing Dahat's dead. Can't get punished. Eve and Hugo recovered from their injuries and were now living in relative peace while working at Corun. Mathis, who saw Eve as a role model, seemed to be visiting them every so often with Jean. More importantly, this country was starting to change with Scien and Brofiise at its centre. The people who saw and learned of the royal family's evil had finally revolted. The monarchy over the land was abolished. A parliamentary system took its place, and Scien was chosen as its representative. Of course, he didn't seem very happy, saying he would find someone to replace him so he could focus on his work soon. The plan was to create a legal system using books that drifted here from other countries with the help of Mathis Claude. It seemed he wanted to make sure the power wouldn't be in the hands of a single person, and that the cause of the strange deaths would be made public as soon as the evidence hidden by the royals could be recovered. As for me, through the tumultuous change...
セレス、次は花を買うぞ。
Look at his flat ass. I'm sorry. Okay, understood. I'd become something a bit more special than his personal maid. I was living a peaceful life with Scien. Today we were out together, just the two of us. It'd been a week since Mother returned, and it looked like she was getting accustomed to her new body, which is why we stopped out to go and visit Dahat's grave.
とは言っても、あいつはどんな花を好むんだ。死者を弔うために花など買ったことがないから、わからんだ。
You don't need to worry too much. Just listen to your heart and pick the flowers based on what colors Dahat liked, or what would match him. It's alright to buy flowers based on your own feelings.
それもわからん。ダハトとはそんな会話一度としてしたことがなかった。だがまあ、あいつはいつも騒がしかったからな。強いて言うなら、赤や黄色といった派手な色の花が似合うんじゃないか。
That sounds just like him. Why don't we have a bouquet made for those around those colors? With that, I called out to the florist standing in front of his shop. The combination of the country's top researcher and the Maiden of Death from Kuna made us very noticeable. The florist noticed who we were, but he simply smiled and greeted us as customers. After purchasing a beautifully arranged bouquet, Scien and I made our way to the cemetery. It feels so strange, not being called Death for so long. I guess it's because Scien announced to the public that he would clear my name once everything settled down. It felt like only yesterday when he said that in public, which made me blush again. But that doesn't mean what was lost back then will return. My sin of involving the orphanage was one that I would need to bear for the rest of my life. But I would be bearing that with Scien by my side, as I came to terms with the deaths. For no real reason, I looked up and saw Scien staring at my face from the side. Scien, is there something on my face?
ああ、いや、なんでもない。買い忘れたものがあった。お前は先に墓へと言っていろ。
Okay, I'll do that. Come to think of it, he's been looking at me like this quite often recently. Because she's falling in love. I tilted my head in bewilderment. It was only a few minutes later that she returned me with a flower in hand and told me, I think this matches you well. That's cute. We were done visiting the cemetery. I was back in my room at the orphanage with Scien by my side. Dahat's grave was very clean and beautiful. There were a lot of flowers placed there too.
あいつは俺以上に人望があったからな。研究員たちが代わる代わる訪れたんだろう。
I see. I feel bad for Dahat. He didn't deserve to die like that. Thinking of Mother, I couldn't say much more beyond that. The best Scien and I could do for him now was...
だがあいつの研究内容自体は良い形で引き継げている。俺は呪いを完全に解き明かすことであいつの死に報いよう。
Scien. He wouldn't let his efforts go to waste. I was sure Scien would keep his word. To break the curse of death before I died and create a country where everyone's free to be angry, to mourn, and to love. We paused for a moment, then Scien sat on my bed.
ところで、研究といえば、少し実験したいことがあるんだが。
What is it?
こちらへ来い。
Okay. He patted the bed and I sat down beside him. Yeah? Suddenly, Scien put his arm around my shoulder and pulled me close without a change of expression. My beloved looked back at me with his unique multicolored eyes. I suddenly felt my heart race. Scien? What is it?
観察している。
I'm observing. Observing? Observing what?
もちろんお前をだ。
Nah? Our conversation wasn't making sense. But come to think of it, you were staring at my face when we were out shopping, too. Was that part of your research? Maybe he was trying to observe my physical traits as death?
いや違う。あれは単にお前に見とれていただけだ。
Ah, I love him. Huh? His words made my face go red. What are you? He stopped me from completing my question.
一連の事件を解決した後、お前も笑うことが増えただろう。お前の笑顔はつい見入ってしまう。
His whisper was so sweet that it passed through my ear and began to melt my mind. Mood.
新たな肉体に移行した後、ずっと実験をしていたんだ。本当に自分が感情を得たのかどうかを。だが俺には手本となるサンプルがない。だから観察していた。お前を見つめ、メモリーが奏でる音に耳を傾けることによって。
So, the reason you've been near me a lot?
そうだな。いわゆるお試し期間というわけだ。それでまあ分かったのは、俺はお前のことが好きらしい。
It seems. He so naturally pushed me down onto the bed and whispered in my ear again. Scien brought my hand to his heart. It is steamy. Hello, wait, can I get languid? Is that how I pronounce it? I'm sorry. Yes. Steamy. Although I'm so happy. I love that the fact this is a long time coming. Scien's happy ending. Close enough. I'm sorry. I try so hard. Reading is difficult for me. But welcome in! Hi, how are you? I'm Den Doku. I'm a VTuber. I do have a model. I'm a bit under the weather today, so we're not doing live 2D today. So there's just a picture of me in the corner. Scien brought my hand to his heart, which I could see under his collar.
どうだ？お前にもわかるだろう。
I'm good. I'm a bit under the weather. I woke up at 3 a.m. and then puked up a bunch of water, which was fun. And then couldn't get back to sleep until 6 a.m. So I'm a bit tired. I'm a bit blah feeling. But yeah. After we do Scien's happy ending, we're moving on to Yves' happy ending, which is another character. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the game we're playing or not. I need to sneeze. I've sneezed. Yes. His heart beat gently. The tune to which his heart beat was far from something cold. Is that it was a beat that held color and warmth. This is strange. For some reason, my heart is screaming from feeling your heart's rhythm.
ではその鼓動、もっと早めてみるか。
Oh. Yep, this tracks. Smoosh. Hey, nice. It's great because you're seeing all the happy moments. This game, Virche Evermore, is an Otome game, but it's a very, very darkly themed Otome game. So there have been a lot of despairful moments leading up to this point to actually get to a happy ending. So you've come at the perfect time. This is vastly different from when he put his lips on mine before. It was a kiss that seemed to seek out my existence. Scien kept changing the angle of his kiss, as if to steal the soul of the one called Death, Ceres. As he said, with each kiss, my heart screamed even louder.
これが恋をしたという感覚か。存外悪くない。お前と強く結びついている気がするし、何よりお前のそういう顔を見ていると、かなりそそられる。
Lamau. He whispered in a serious voice, and the temperature of my face rose even higher. Are you sure about this?
何がだ?
I mean, are you sure it's okay for you to have someone like me by your side?
逆だ。お前以外にふさわしい者はいない。
He seemed sure of himself, but I was still hesitant about his decision.
神の隣に立つのは、同じ神である死神が最もふさわしい。だからそう不安がってくれるな。俺は間違いなく前回から引き継いだ記憶も含めて、お前のことを愛している。
Oh, that's romantic. I guess. I could feel Scien's chest beating to a different tune
お
now.
前と触れ合っているといつもこうなる。お前の笑顔を見た時も、お前に微笑みかけられた時も、共にいない時間でも、ふとしたことでお前を思い出してしまう。
No. The emotionless man has fallen in love. Scien.
ここまで言えばわかるだろう。あの日の宣言通り、確かに俺は、お前に恋をすることができた。
This was indeed his confession of love. In this country, in this world, this godlike person was directing his beautiful emotions to me and only me. His boldness and honesty made the anxiety I felt inside disappear into a mist.
それで、お前はどうなんだ?
Huh?
俺を好いているのであろうことは言動から察していた。だからこそ、伴侶にすると言い切ったのだしな。
And that you would have 2 kids together. I still think that's cute.
だが直接口に出して言われたことはない。言ってくれ。お前の口から聞きたい。
As he spoke, there was a look of great expectation in Scien's eyes. How could I deny this earnest request? I love you too, Scien. There's no way I could tell him how embarrassed I was to say that. Scien, you're not a nice person. And yet, I love you so very much. Your purity and impurity, your determination and desires, everything. I love Scien Brofiise more than anyone in the world.
上出来だ。
His confession turned into a vow.
今ここに誓おう。この国の呪いも、お前の死神としてのゆえんも、俺は神として必ず解き明かしてみせる。 だがお前の前では地に足つけてただの男であるとしよ
Suppose. Mwah. Yay! Happiness for my babies, finally.
不要と判断していた感情がメモリーがお前が近くにいるだけでこんなにも高鳴るとはなかなか興味深い結果だ。神と死神である俺たちだが共にいるときはただの男と女として唇を重ねるとするが
Yay! Screenshot. Woo! Okay, Eve's turn. Eve's turn for a happy ending. Eve's turn for a happy ending. Eve, my baby. Happy ending time. Oh shit, Eve's salvation end is called Evermore. Shit. Right, we load save file 4. And we pick refuse. Refusal. It was so he could protect someone dear to him. Fuck you, Hugo. Go psycho somewhere else. Hugo's answer was well justified. If only I'd left Eve sooner. If only I'd died before meeting Eve. I knew that I didn't deserve him. Yet I kept letting myself be reassured by his kind words. It was all my fault. How could I be so foolish? My identity wasn't of any concern now. My existence had transformed into a weapon that could kill my precious Eve. My mind drifted to the knives in the kitchen. I wanted nothing more than to take one and stab myself through my shameless heart. Yeah, this is kind of what the game is. I might skip this still to get to the new stuff, because we've read this before. There you go. Jump to the next unread text. I don't know. Since we have someone new lurking in chat, I kind of want to just go through it, but I also kind of don't. It's too warm. Taking off jumper. But yeah, this game is depressing. I want to just skip to the good stuff. I don't want to see the sadness anymore. I'm so burnt out from the sadness and the depression. I don't want to eat any more glass. No more eating glass. You can skip no worries. Okay, cool. Good, because I've eaten too much glass with this damn game. This game is too sad. It's too sad. It is depression the game, and I don't like... Well, I do love it. I love this game so much. But I want Eve, my baby, to get happy. Happy ending. Happy ending for my baby, please. We've gone through so much pain. Yes, too many onions. Eating too much glass while cutting too many onions. This game is quite sad. But if you're into Otome games, I do recommend it a lot. If you're into darker media, just be warned that there's a lot of shit happens in this game. Sweet. I might finish in, yeah, just under 3 hours, I think. Wait, even a couple hours. Oh, literature club? Oh, yeah. This is like... This game is like if Doki Doki Literature Club was just the fucked up segments minus the meta breaking the fourth wall. You know the parts of Doki Doki where everything goes wrong? That's this game. This is nothing but despair and hurt. Until this point where we get the happy endings. Okay, so we're in the Lycris field and everything's burning. Fantastic. Yves was breathing heavily as he took his last step toward me. I could imagine him extending his hand to me one more time. Please, stop. No, Kaze, it's not your fault. I'm the one who forgot to send the message into the Discord. I'm sorry. We just finished Scien's Salvation End, though. No, it's okay. It's okay. It's not your fault. I also forgot to send the frickin' announcement live message in the Discord for like almost an hour. So it's my fault as well that you weren't probably notified. But yeah, we've just finished Scien's Salvation End. It was really, really good, actually. Scien's Salvation End was really, really nice. Do you want me to go over it for you? Because I can. It won't take too long to summarize. Basically, Scien's plan to make himself a brand new reliver with a full accessed memory works. In the despair end, we get stopped before he can finish, and then Ceres is killed. But then the Salvation End, he manages to succeed. He makes himself a full reliver, a full new reliver with the full memory and the full upgraded heart to contain emotions. And using that, we sway Dahut to join our side because that's what he wants his research towards. But Salome kind of goes crazy again and kills one of... First off, she kills Dahut. So she kills her own son, though she didn't know she did that, which kind of sucks. Dahut does die. But because and then she kills one of the royal family members in front of everyone. Also not good. But instead of punishing her, Scien then focuses, because she's gone crazy, they need to turn, in order to save Salome, they have to turn her into the same type of reliver that Scien's just turned himself into. So after a few months of work by torturing one of the other royal family members, which is fantastic because screw those people, Salome manages oh, sorry. Salome manages to revive with a fully upgraded heart, like Scien does, so she has all of her emotions, she's sane now, she doesn't need to go on a killing rampage of the royal family. And, Scien then starts focusing on actually curing Ceres and putting an end to the curse, finding out what has caused it. Because of what happened with Salome and Dahut and all that, they managed to fully expose the royal family's crimes. So I don't think the royal family is killed, but it just stated that they abolished the royal family. So now they're doing democracy. And Salome goes back to the orphanage. Turns out that some of the kids from the orphanage managed to escape. They didn't all die. So Salome is back at the orphanage, taking care of the kids with Ceres. And everything's happy. It ended with Scien confessing his love for Ceres and vowing that, he will help her, pretty much. A very, very good it's a very, very good salvation end, honestly. The only thing I'm sad at is that Dahut died. Like, that's the only thing. Yeah, my only complaint is that Dahut died, basically. It's the only negative thing, because I would have preferred Dahut to stay alive and realize that Salome was his mother and have a reconciling moment with her where, you know, like, mother, and then he's like, oh my god, my son, and then, you know, for them to have a moment. But yeah, you're right there. It's this, and besides, this is Virche Evermore. You don't get 100% happy endings unless you're Adolpha. See, Adolpha's ending is really just kind of the best in terms of, like, Daha and Salome get to die together and they get buried together, which is sweet. Literally everyone's problems get solved, really, in Adolpha's ending. What, Lucas gets cured, Nadia gets cured, Yves manages to become a reliver and gets rid of his ugly scar. Oh, cousin, thank you for the gift sub. Thank you. Oh my goodness. What? Mathis gets cured. Like, everyone gets fixed in Adolpha's ending, so it's the closest thing we've got to a perfect ending. But in this one is also quite up there, I think, in happy endings. But yeah, now we have literally just started Yves' salvation end. So we're in the Lycros field and it's all burning. It's all burning. We're burning the Lycros field. And thank you for the follow, get Langed. Is it Langed? 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 Langed. Langed? I'm sorry. Lang. Yeah, his ending does kind of have to be the best. Which I don't have a problem with, since I love him so much. Langed. Okay. Langed. I'm stupid, I'm sorry. I'm a homunculus. Homunculus don't have brains. So I'm allowed to be stupid. If you stick around, be prepared to hear that often. It's my number one go-to defense. Homunculi do not have brains, therefore I am allowed to be stupid. I instinctively shut my eyes as I knew very well I needed to turn him away. You're the smartest rock I've met. Yay! Online, anyway. Aw. Aw. Fair. It's fine. Nobody ever pronounces the full name right. Oh, I'm sorry. I'll just call you Langed. 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 Yeah. Lang. I'm sorry. I'm stupid. I must not take his hand. If I was going to end up killing him, I should slap his hand away. I knew I should do that, but what I expected didn't happen. I heard the sound of explosions and something spreading. What lay ahead of my closed eyes? I slowly and cautiously opened my eyes. No! Hanakaba. It is a freaking... I love Yves so much! I love Yves so much! Ah! Black petals bloomed magnificently amid the crimson flames. The Lycros noises that were hated by the people as the flowers of misfortune, despite the salvation they brought the land.
俺と結婚してください。
Yes! A bagillion times yes! I love you, Yves, so much. For the first time, they didn't determine life. Absolutely. Instead, they were put into a bouquet to bring people together. You're so stupid. Meanwhile, words unfit for the situation came out. Why? Of all times. You do know you're about to be killed by me, right? Hearing me mumble, Eve gave a confused smile.
だって君、俺がどれだけ好きだって言っても、死にたいって逃げちゃうからさ。
And we are also currently in the process of being burned alive. Don't forget that, guys. Like, ouch.
俺がどれだけ本気か。
Yeah, sure.
このぐらいのことをしないと伝わらないと思って。
Eve was really stupid. I'm sorry, I gotta... I love that. Mind you, Lang, the flowers that are burning all around them are super duper toxic. So they're not just breathing in fire fumes, they're breathing in cursed flower fumes as well. He was really stupid. But beyond that, he was a very strong person. I'll tell you later, for real. In his hand was a black bouquet made from the flowers that he picked nearby. No matter how many embers got onto them, they continued to bloom boldly. It was as if the flowers had an unwavering will, just like the young man in front of me. But if I take that from you, I'm going to end up killing you.
死なない。
You will.
死なない。どんな方法を使っても耐えてみ
He's
せ
so
る。
stubborn.
今までだってなんとかなったし、7年前だって顔が焼かれる程度で済んだんだ。きっと俺は死神に愛されたがゆえに、その死に
Right, yeah, because Eve has also been eating the flowers. So he has slight antibodies. Not as much as Anku does, but he definitely has them. Because they combine Anku's blood and his blood to make the cure in Adolphus route. Yeah. I know I needed to slap the bouquet out of Eve's hand to save his life. That makes no sense. The real death doesn't work that way, you know.
じゃあ、もし本当に万が一この手を取って俺が死んだとしたら、俺の後を追ってきてくれる。もともと君が死んだら冥界まで追いかけるつもりだったんだ。そこで結婚式を挙げるっていうのも死神っぽくて素敵だと思うな。
It's okay. He's gone to Lulu because he's been inhaling so much smoke. It's fine. Seeing me look back at him and share disbelief, he waved the bouquet in front of me once again.
君がどれだけ嫌がっても、それこそ死んだって。俺はこの言葉を届け続けるよ。
His final confession of love. He boldly made his confession as the flames and toxins eroded his body.
好きだ、セレス。君がどんな存在だろうと、俺は君が背負う仕事、愛してみせる。だから、その命、いらないのなら、俺にくれ。 俺の残るすべての時間を君に捧げるから。
Yeah, I'm like, Eve, I love you. I felt heat other than the flames on my face. There was no use. No matter how far I ran away, even if I died, he would come for me. He would come with fearless resolve, even if it meant going to the depths of Hades. But this fearless resolve of his was, Eve, you're so mean. The joy I felt was unbearable. Toxic tears rolled down my cheeks. I let them out as I cried with all my heart. Yves Nuage was really someone who was born to love death. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I was sorry to everyone I had killed and everyone who had died because of me. I can't die yet to atone for what I've done. I apologized for my selfishness. After all, a desire budded in me that I couldn't fight. A desire to live with him forever. I took a step forward. I love you. My confession. I couldn't run. I didn't want to anymore. Yeah. He was going to offer his life to me. I love you, Eve. I would offer my life to him in return. I love you so much, Eve. I want you, my beloved, to take my cursed life. A new reason to live. I could live with despair. If I could be with him for just a few seconds longer. That was my one and only desire right now. Smoosh. I took his bouquet of Lycris Nuage and bent down toward him. I gently caressed Eve's burn scars and gave him a kiss. Our lips joined with the sweet taste of blood.
やっと返事がもらえた。
We found love in a hopeless place. We found love in a hopeless place. Sorry I kept you waiting. Will you forgive me?
もちろん。
I didn't care if I burned to death.
ありがとう。死ぬまで。死んでも永遠に愛してる。俺のリコリス・ノアージュの姫君。
姫君. So will I. My guardian of the Lycris Nuage. Eve and I, the demon that took away their salvation in death, who brought misfortune to others. The flames of punishment devoured us whole. Rip. Don't tell me this is also going to be an end where we both die. Show me. Show me, motherfucker. What happens next?
なら俺が次の守護者になるよ。
え？
俺リコリスのワージュ好きだもん。だからじいさまはもうゆっくりお休みしていいよ。じいさまや父さまたちの代わりに俺がこの子たちをいっぱい愛するから。
Cheap viewers. Oh my god. Suck my ballsack. Ban. Fuck off.
Eve,
Yeah, his granddad.
お前。
けどその代わりに俺が立派な守護者になったら、好きな女の子ができた時、お話の死神みたいにこのリコリスの花で求婚してもいい？
それはやめておいた方がいい。この花を直接
Yeah,
抜いたら
exactly right.
お前自身が死んでしまう。
It's my fault. I keep forgetting to set Seribot back up. I really should set Seribot back up, but I haven't done that yet because I'm lazy. Maybe I will finally do that after stream. Because we've been having a few more of them in the stream recently.
何らかの方法で花束を作れたとして、普通の女の子は怖がって受け取ってくれないぞ。リコリスを喜んで受け取ってくれるのは、それこそ死神の女性ぐらいしか。
じゃあ俺死神の女の子をお嫁さんにする。それで世界一素敵な求婚をこのリコリスのワージュで申し込むんだ。
Mood. Kaze, absolute mood. I feel you there.
どうおじいさま、いい考えでしょ。
Far away, the sound of iron being struck could be heard. Much of the institute had been destroyed, so work was quickly underway to fix the facility, but the head of the institute, Scien Brofiise, was sitting down on a bench in Kuna. The cool wind coming from the ocean stung the wound where his arm once was. Oh, that's right! In this ending, he fucking loses an arm.
あら、男前になったじゃない。
Armless. I'm sorry. That's kind of not... I shouldn't be laughing at that. That's awful. I'm sorry. That's so bad. I'm sorry. I'm laughing because it's Scien, okay? I'm laughing at Scien because it's Scien because he's a dick. It's not a fish word. Exactly. Scien's resourceful. He's fine. It's funny because it's Scien because Scien's a dick. Even though we just saw him have a happy ending with Ceres, he's still kind of an asshat.
皮肉か。
そうよ、いいざまだわ。私の可愛い子供たちに手を出し、挙句そのうちの一人の命を
Just
奪
put a
った。
scratch. See, exactly. And then when he revives again as a reliver, he'll just get a body with a new arm anyway, so it's only temporary, really.
殺しても足りないぐらい憎いけれど、あなたには借りがあるし、呪いの解明にこだわっていたのは私も同じ。
In addition,
一番最初にあの子たちを実験体とみなしていたのは私だもの。あの子の死を愚弄する言葉でも吐かない限り、しばらくは殺さないであげるわ。
see, exactly.
そうか。
Oh, does Adolpha die in this ending as well? Shit. Shin looked up to the sky and responded nonchalantly.
すっかりふぬけたわね。あなた本当にあのシアン？
素人にあれだけ落ち度を指摘されれば、俺とてそれなりに思うところがあるというものだ。
Shred said that her body could be used for experiments and testing after she died, but her powers wouldn't manifest in death, meaning there was little to be excited
ダ
for.
ハとあたりを公認にして、しばらくは第一線から引くか。
あなたが研究を放棄するなんて、明日にでもこの国滅びるんじゃないかしら。
好きに言え。こっちは人間としての感覚を学習するのに忙しい。
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I guess we need to realize that these versions of the characters don't know what we know. But, I don't know.
クルーンへの借りはいずれ返すつもりではいるが。何せ時間がない。それまであの夫婦の寿命が持つ可能性は。
Salome's face clouded with sorrow, knowing their future would be cut short when...
やあ、君が地上へ
Hey,
新た
aren't
に
you
降りたと
sweeping
いう
in to save the
元
day?
神様かな？
Out of nowhere, a mysterious and ethereal man appeared in front of them.
何者だ？
I'm a dolphin time traveled 1,000 bagillion years from the future to try and make everyone's lives not end up shit in this timeline, and I didn't do well, but hi. I can cure everything. They stared at the man with suspicion.
私の名はかの守護者に呪いの正体を明かした死の番人アンク。
God, Adolfo, you're so cringe. I love that this is just Adolfo fucking LARPing. I love Anku so much, but he becomes significantly less serious when you find out that it's just Adolfo LARPing as his Dungeons and Dragons character. I'm sorry, it's just funny. I love it so much. I love them both, but it's a little bit cringe. But funny cringe. The man who had been mistaken for death gave an eerie
愛
smile.
らしい同胞に契約を一方的に破棄され困っていてね。新しい契約者を探しているんだ。シアン・ブロフィワーズ。私の新たな契約者とならないか？
He's not LARPing, that's just who he is. Worse. Is that worse? I think that's worse. It's a little bit worse. It feels borderline Delulu, but Anku knows that. Anku is aware that he's pretending, so I guess that's fine enough.
君たちが起こした騒動のおかげで十分な準備はこの身の中に整ったのでね。それを利用し、この国の呪いに真正面から挑んでみるといい。
Exactly. I mean, to be fair, in this kind of game, every single character at some point goes fucking crazy, so it's just fair. At this point, it's just equality. Everyone in this game goes batshit crazy at least once, so what's one more? It's fair, it's equality.
彼女たちが死ぬのが先か、君が呪いに勝つのが先か。人間としてあがく君を見守らせてもらうよ。
The Watchman of Death narrowed his eyes as he remembered the words he exchanged with his former friend. From among those words, a certain title flashed within his mind. Yeah, some go more crazy than others.
我が友よ。
Yep. Oh, Lucas, my poor baby.
これより我ら漂流者の血族は盟友との誓いの証としてこの花の名を取りノアージュの姓を名乗る。唯一の心配は君の思い人が害されることがないかだが、君が予言した通りこの先神として生まれるブロフィワーズの家系の末裔が道を違えたときは、彼の運命の対立者たるこのリコリスを愛す我らが末裔が必ず止めてくれると私も信じよう。その末裔はきっとこの国を大きく動かす救済の象徴ビルシュとなる。
Hey, there's the Virche and Virche Evermore.
ん？ああ、君はこの言葉の意味は知らないか。無理もない。これは私が外の国の言葉で作った造語というものだからな。
He went on to say that he named it after the boat he was on before he drifted to this land.
二つの言語が使われており、
Yeah, he said the thing!
ブロフィワーズのものにはそのうちの一つ、ビルテュエル、仮想の意味を教えたが、
Virtual.
実はこの言葉にはもう一つ意味がある。
I don't get it. The other word
ある
was.
種箱舟という意味だ。
Oh, virtual arc. Okay. I thought virtue was like a French word or something. I didn't realize it was a completely made up word.
箱舟に運ばれたどり着いた私の意志を継ぎ、救済が仮想であったこの
Virtual
国に希
salvation.
望をもたらすリコリスに愛されし
Yeah, virtual arc.
そのこと、もし神たる者が私と君のように絆を育み国を救ったその時は、ビルシュという栄光の称号を英雄となった二人にいつか会えた時に授けてやってくれ。
I guess. It's not really virtual though, but yeah. The National Research Institute was attacked by commoners from Kuna. Many were severely injured and just as many deaths. With just as many deaths. The institute was partially destroyed and a portion of the backup data was lost. Eve and Ceres were wanted by the Upper Shell royal family, but they earned Scien's wrath for using his name and forever lost their right to become relivers. Hey, yes, we love seeing the royal family get fucked over. The royal family is thrown into chaos, which distracted them from looking for the two. Those who joined the attack were pardoned since someone lost all video evidence, making it impossible to prove their crimes. Lucas Proust, also known as Barreau, was also wanted, but he fled after the attack. Without the royal family's knowledge, he secretly visited Nadia Proust, who'd been transferred to another hospital. Thank fuck, get her the furthest fucking away from Dr. Capuchin, I swear to God. Mathis Claude had returned to his normal life while waiting for the return of his butler, who was arrested for illegal research. Honestly, the writing of this visual novel, this Otome game, has been fucking phenomenal. I love this game. Juicy, juicy, edgy darkness. Casualties were great in Kuna, and the residents sought the death penalty for Ceres and the others responsible. But the requests were refused by Scien Brofiise, who stated that they were not involved in the deaths that occurred. He single-handedly ended the blaming. The fact that the talented scientist Scien Brofiise had actually lied about scientific evidence was kept secret, with only a few in Upper Shell knowing the importance of why he bent the truth. Oh, yes. I thought, my dumbass, I thought virtual as in like VR, but no, yeah. That makes more sense. I was offering a prayer like he did to the guest from beyond the ocean and his descendants sleeping in the family grave. The lycrous nuages were blowing in unison with the movement of the wind. It was like they're giving their thanks to the family who raised them to full bloom. A single teardrop fell from my eye. I'm okay. A single teardrop fell from my eye onto the flower's black petal. I'm such a crybaby. I closed my eyes to hold back the tears. I should get going. I picked up the basket sitting next to me and quietly got up from the ground. I can't guarantee I'll be happy, but I'll do my best and struggle with all my might, so that I can say one day that I was glad I decided to live. I am death, after all. I won't lose to anyone as easily as before. True. So please watch over me from the heavens, Adolpha. Yeah, he did die in this route again. So many of them. He dies in a lot of them. Sad. I looked to make sure no one was around.
おかえり、セレス。
Greeting me when I returned was Eve. sitting on the makeshift bed in his usual clothes. Next to him was a fishbowl with Puffy, his puffer fish, splashing in the water as if to greet my return. Get back in bed, Eve. You have to rest. Seems like it. It mentioned that Scien had stopped putting the blame on them, but I guess they're still in hiding for a little bit then. I hardly rushed to his side.
大丈夫大丈夫。今日はなんだか調子がいいんだ。
Eve reached out and held my hand, then wrapped his fingers around mine to share his gentle warmth.
それより、アドルフたちへの挨拶は終わった？
Yes, and I let everyone know our situation. But, are you sure it's fine? I know I requested it, but... Is it really okay to have Adolpha buried in the Nuage family grave?
もちろん。アドルフは俺にとってのお兄さんにあたる人だからね。家族も同然だよ。ヒューゴの実家も彼の意思を優先して、近いうちに棺をこっちに移してくれるって。
Oh shit, Hugo's also dead. Rip. How dare this game bury your gays? I see. Which means we can go see them whenever we want.
うん。今度は俺も歩けるときに一緒に行くよ。アドルフはともかく定期的に顔を出さないと寂しがり屋のヒューゴが拗ねちゃいそうだ。でもきっと寂しくないよね。遠からず俺と君も彼らの元に行くんだし。
You're right. I chuckled, remembering him pouting before. Adolpha and Hugo. Many others dear to us were also mourned since that day a month ago. Immediately after we were engulfed in flames, the rain poured down like never before. With the flames doused, we both somehow managed to survive. As for my trait that went out of control, Yves gave me Scien's medicine from his own mouth, which temporarily suppressed my power. Still, his chromosomes were already tainted, so stopping my power didn't reverse the effects. Yves was seriously on the brink of death back then, but... Yeah, that's also a good point, yeah. Yves possessed something like antibodies. Ah, is that why there are so many Lycoris Mirages growing around your house?
そうそう。あれ実は自分で繁殖させたんだ。球根の状態なら呪いの効果は薄いから、慎重に分裂させてね。リコリスって案外便利なんだよ。どうも畑を荒らす害獣を避ける呪いもあるみたいでさ。あと、球根は食べると結構美味しい。
Huh? You've eaten them? Because Yves had eaten a number of Lycoris Nuage bulbs in the past, his body gained a resistance to the toxins which slowed the tainting of his chromosomes in comparison to others. Then I took his blood when he gave me the medicine by mouth. Anku, the Watchman of Death, appeared later and administered another medicine to me that was red in colour. His blood. His fully antidoted blood. Finally, my power subsided. I could vividly remember Shen's disgusted face after learning Yves' eating habits. It had actually proved useful in controlling my power. Yeah, because the mixture of Anku's blood and Yves' blood creates a full antibody cure for the curse. Well, the toxins in the soil. But just because my power was under control didn't mean I could go back to my normal life. We were on the run from the people of Kuna and the royal family, so Anku introduced us to this hideout that we made into our home. Mother, Mathis, and the others had been secretly bringing us food and basic necessities for us to live. Despite their kindness, I could no longer go near them like before. Yeah, exactly. But, it's him. He's edgy now. I like it. Yes. The antibodies and medicines that were administered were simply suppressing my abilities from going wild. My powers as death hadn't disappeared from me. Which is why I'd probably die once I reached 23 years of age. As for Yves, most of his chromosomes had been eroded and tainted by the toxin, so...
半年持つかどうかかな。
I see what you did there. In fact, he had been spending most of the day on a makeshift bed ever since, unable to move like before. He would probably stop breathing the moment he pushed himself beyond his current capacity. Still, neither Yves or I were saddened by our situation.
死ぬまでになんとかリコリスを守る次の管理者を見つけないと。誰か引き受けてくれないかな。君は俺が死んだら後を追うつもりなんだよね。
That sounds kind of ominous, Yves. I love you so much, but that's kind of threatening. It's vaguely threatening. Of course. That's the promise we made when I accepted your marriage proposal. If you dare tell me now that you want me to go live after you die, not only will I be angry, but I'll hate you too. We need a baby now.
それは死活問題だ。君に嫌われるなんて俺にとっては一番の絶望だよ。
I thought you were going to live even through the despair.
それとこれとは話が別。
Yves squinted his eyes a bit, and before I could react... Sposhies. He gently tugged my arm toward him and onto the bed. Yves gently brought me onto his lap and gave me a kiss. It was warm and sweet. His pulse and warmth had a powerful brilliance despite the fact that he didn't have much time left to live. We remained like that for a few seconds. We kissed and embraced each other as if we were the only two people in the world. Is this a kissing book? This is a kissing book. This is a kissing book. I'm sorry. It's a kissing book. Get that reference. We kissed and embraced each other as if we were the only two people in the world.
絶望に耐えられるのは君がそばにいてくれるから。君がいなかったら俺の心はとっくに壊れて死に逃げていたよ。
Classic. I would have done the same, but you brought me back to life, even knowing that I was broken. I was close enough to feel his breath. He was no longer hiding the part of his skin where the Lycaris dwelled. He showed himself to me exactly as he was. I'm so glad I didn't die back then, but I'm so despicable to think that. Still, I can't lie to myself about the happiness I feel being with you.
その矛盾を抱えながら俺たちはこれからも生きていく。
Even I laughed. We showed our smiles to each other despite knowing that we were using the hopes and lives of others to build our own happiness.
大切な人を死なせた罪。救える命を見捨てた罪。許してくれと。失ったものの幻影に怯える時が来るかもしれない。
I think so. A little bit? I don't know. This is supposed to be Salvation End. So far, Mathis's and Scien's Salvation Ends have been the happiest. Lucas's has been really sad. Well, Adolpha, Mathis, and Scien have the best salvation ends. Lucas's one kind of sucks because they both die, but there's the promise of them being reincarnated. I'm not sure where this is going yet.
悲しみに濡れ涙が止まらなくなる時だってあるかもしれない。
Those things were what connected me and Eve together.
そのすべてを分かち合いながら共にいよ
う。Yes, even in the midst of despair, I will always stay by your side. I would live on, more hideous than death. No matter how hated I was, no matter how many times I blamed myself, I wouldn't lose to any dark emotions that awaited me. I would live for as long as possible, smiling with him, and die when the time came to repent for my selfishness. Oh, bunny! Bun. Yeah, they're smushy. Smush. I wouldn't worry anymore, like Eve told me. Eve? I moved closer to his chest, arm, and cheek. I pushed my warmth against him to show that I wanted him to touch me even more. Eve responded and embraced me closer. Harder. He then gently touched the lycra's pin in my hair with his burned and scarred fingertips. Sus. Lamau. Love it. You'd better be prepared now that a scary girl like me has captured you. I won't let your soul escape. Even after you die or go to Hades.
それはこっちのセリフだよ。相手が神だろうが死神だろうが。
We love a couple that matches each other's freak. They're both equally delulu. We live for it.
君が生む死も不幸も絶望もそのすべては俺のものだ。
I was the kind, cruel bride of my dear guardian. I swore my undying love for him in the flower field where many lives were laid to rest.
この命をかけて君を愛してるセレス。
We would never part, even when the end came. The black lycra flowers blooming throughout the land blessed us. Their petal rose into the beautiful sky.
So
what, they die as well, bro?
多くの人々を見捨てて
I'm not gonna lie, I'm super curious about how the fandom picks up from those endings. Cause like, obviously with Scien, Adolpha, and Mathis, it makes sense. Both of them are alive and together. For no, I did. It did pop up, yeah. But in Lucas's ending, they're both dead. And in Eve's ending, they're both dead. How does the fan disc carry on from that? Let me see. I actually don't know much about the fan disc. No. Screw you, copyright, fuck you. This fan disc comprises 5. I saw it, did you not hear it? Wait. Yeah, I heard it. Do you guys not hear it? I can hear it on my end. Sus for being sus. On brand. Okay, so I'm looking up the Virche Evermore fan disc, which I do have. I have the fan disc already. Probably, yeah. That means I might make... I'll turn the redeem audio up a little bit and the game volume down. There we go. So, this fan disc comprises 5 different sections. Side story interlude, a collection of events from the main story featuring what-if scenarios, glimpses into the love interest pasts, and additional untold stories of side characters along with a few backstories for the new characters. Side end encore, a new alternate routes for the main 5 love interests, Yves, Lucas, Mathis, Scien, and Adolpha. These routes basically revisit the stories from the first game but added a different spin on their endings. Virche de la Coda Emotion. These are the after stories for the main love interests, Virche Evermore Era Salvation. In Virche, continuing from the main character's salvation end in the first game. Tradition Drifter, an untold story about the founder of the family that secretly guards the licorice flowers, and how he changed the fate of the country. Virche de Salut, Anku. This is Anku's route. A new story of the Watchman of Death and the key that holds the Maiden of Death's future. Okay. So yeah, I'm confused about how they continue on from the endings that have Lucas dies. Lucas and Ceres die in his salvation end, and it seems like Yves and Ceres also die in their salvation end, so I'm not sure how you continue on from that. There's only one route restriction in this game. You must clear the Tradition Drifter story to unlock Anku's route and the After story. Since it's also a fan disc, there are no definite route orders implemented by the developers, but I don't think it matters what love interest story you start with first. However, the developers did suggest on Atomate's blog that if you want to end the game on a rather happier note, you can play in the order Encore. You can play in the order Encores, Emotions, Drifter, then Anku, and then do the side story interludes as a breather in between. If you prefer the game to end with its despair theme, a sadder note, they suggest doing interlude, emotion, drifter, Anku, then the encores. It said that these are only suggestions and it emphasizes it's best to play what order feels right for you. During my gameplay, I followed the first suggested order. Okay. I see. Maybe, yeah. We've only been going for 2 hours. Alt endings, yes. You said you're not familiar with Atome games, right, Lang? So I guess I could do a brief example. So, the way Atome games, specifically console Atome games, work is that you have the main game, which is this. This is the main game where a heroine will go through a story, which could be different. Sometimes it's a happy-go-lucky slice-of-life story. Sometimes it's this, where you're constantly cutting onions while eating glass. And then if a game is popular enough, it will get something called a fan disc, which is not to be confused with a sequel. They're technically not the same thing. Fan discs are kind of like bonus content for the fans that will have after stories that continue on from the main game, but then it'll have other things like I just read out, where it'll have alt scenarios. Sometimes there will be new mini routes for side characters that fans like, stuff like that. Yeah, eating glass means you're getting your heart punched into the dick and you're enjoying it. It's a common phrase in the Otome space. Well, Otome... Well, not just Otome, more like the Josei Muke space. Yeah. Essentially, it's DLC, but it's its own separate game. It's like, see here, I've got Virche Evermore, and then I have Virche Evermore Epic Lycaris, which is the fan disc. Speaking of, I'm not sure how late it is for you guys, but we've only really been going for about 20... I don't know. Do you want to break into the fan disc? We can do some of the happier endings. Like, I'm pretty sure I'll probably end up playing the majority of the fan disc off stream. But just to fill in the time, the extra time we have, do you want to read some? Or do you think we should just leave it here and then tomorrow start Olympia Soiree? Because I'm really looking forward to that. But yeah, Otome is... Now, I need to... Otome is both a genre and a target demographic. Otome games are games where a female protagonist will have romance routes with male love interests. Every now and again there's like a female best friend slash actual romance ending, but that's very, very, very rare. Very uncommon. When will tomorrow's stream start? Usually about 9 a.m. or 10 a.m. for me. Let me get my time converter. So if I start at 10 a.m. my time, then in Eastern Daylight Time, so my time zone is New Zealand, so I start at 10 a.m. for me. That is 3 p.m. Pacific and 6 p.m. Eastern. Those are the two kind of main time zones in America, right? Am I missing one? Do you need a specific time zone, Lang? Give me your time zone. What's your time zone? And I can tell you. Because I've got it saved. What's your time zone? Or did I cover it already? I'm like 4 hours back. Are you Australian? Because Australia is 4 hours behind me. Or are you 4 hours and a day behind me? Because for me, it's the 2nd of August now. If you're in Australia / if you're in Brisbane, I start at 8 a.m. Do you know what your time zone is? So I can get you a specific thing. A specific time. Although, channel, mute tab. In my about section, Eastern Daylight. A time zone is not enough information to dock someone, I don't think. But Eastern Daylight Time, 6 p.m. 6 p.m. your time. But sometimes I can start as early as 9, which would mean I start at 5 p.m. So just after dinner. I know you're teasing. I'm just bothering you. I'm being a doof. Yes, I do have in my panels a countdown It does only account for my normal streaming schedule. I'm currently off of work right now, so I've been just spamming streams all week. But when we get back to it, my stream times will change back to this. Will change back to. Actually, no, that's incorrect. I need to change. Those times are wrong. Give me a sec. Oh yes, and there's the Discord configure. Tuesdays at 7:30, Thursdays at 10 a.m. Yeah, Tuesday, Thursday, 7:30. Yes, save. There we go. So there is also in my panels, in my about panels, my stream elements leaderboard countdown, which will automatically update to your local time zone. Yeah, okay. I think that's it. So yeah, for now, until next Tuesday, I'm kind of just spamming random streams, but that will be our stream schedule. Sometimes I do streams on Sunday, my Sunday, which would be your guys' Saturday. But oh, error? Are you okay? What happened? What happened? What happened? What errored? Is everything okay? Oh yeah, probably just because I reset it. But yeah, I guess we might just leave it here for today. And then tomorrow we can start Olympia, which is a brand new Otome game. I will quickly actually read out I will read out the synopsis for you guys. Where is it? It is down here. Where is it? I've lost it. Where is it? Where is Olympia Soiree? There it is. No worries. Quick synopsis of Olympia Soiree. Her entire clan was wiped out years ago. Olympia has been isolated for much of her life. Now she must live in Tengu Island as the only person who can perform a ritual that will restore the sun to a land enveloped in darkness. The heads of each district, red, blue, and yellow, lead a society governed by a rigid class structure. Unable to travel between the districts, Olympia discovers their wonders and weaknesses. She also finds an entire underground group of shunned, colorless individuals who she becomes determined to help. If she can find a mate who will help her continue her lineage and save the world before it is destroyed, she will reveal to that special someone her heart and her true name. Sounds kind of interesting. Honestly, that is the only thing I know about it. Like, the synopsis here is as much as I know about it. There is a slight trigger warning. Olympia Soiree is rated M in the ESRB. This game contains some non-con elements and a lot of implied intimacy. If you're uncomfortable with these themes in fiction, this game may not be for you. So there is going to be some dark stuff in it, but I don't think it's going to be nearly to the case of Virche's Despair Onslaught. And again, it could just be mentioned, it could just be mild. Could be implicit, we don't know. But it is an M rating, it is on the Switch, it's not gonna be R-rated. I'm interested, it seems interesting. It seems like this is gonna go for a more like political kind of thing. Like we're gonna be doing more bureaucracy and like figuring out suspicious political movements. Like it's a class structure, we're gonna break it down, and then with a little bit of like mystery. Democrats are calling us at bedwetters. Lamau, absolutely. I'm very interested. I have heard so many positive things. So many positive things about Olympia Soiree. The reviewer slash guide person I'm gonna follow has given it a 9 out of 10. She's given it a 9 out of 10. So I think we're in for something really, really good. So I'm excited. But yes, for now, we are going to leave it there. I'm probably going to dive into the Virche fan disc by myself. Maybe, yeah. And it does... I feel like I need to point this out. The color thing, I think, is based on their hair color or eye color. I think it's... it might be hair color. It might not. It might not be. I think it may be based on eye color. I don't think... it might be, it might not be. That could just be me talking out of my ass. But... yeah, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 love interests. We can play Riku, Tokisada, Yosuga, and Kuroba's routes straight away. And once those routes are cleared, we can play Himuka's. And then once we play Himuka's, we can unlock Akaza's route. Yeah. And then we have a suggested route order, which we will probably follow. Yeah. For the best flow of the game and spoiler content. Yeah. I think it's just random. I don't think it has to do with anything specific. But yes. I'm looking forward to tomorrow. I've been wanting to play Olympia Soiree for so long. I've also been wanting to play Jack John a lot. But Jack John is absolutely something I would love to stream. But I'm a bit scared of streaming it because it does have rhythm game elements and I'm unsure about whether or not I would be axed to hell because of the music. But there is possibility that I play Jack Jean next after Olympia. Because Jack Jean is also highly, highly, highly acclaimed. A lot of people love this game. But yeah, Olympia Soiree tomorrow. And I will actually have live 2D. I promise. No more being sick. Honestly, it might be fun to play it on stream. For now, the thing is, I think Twitch has gotten kind of relaxed on DMCAs recently. It seems nowadays, rather than just DMCA striking you, they'll just mute your stream if it does get claimed. So it's more than possible that we could just go through it fine. Especially because it's such a niche game. I really think we might be fine. But yeah, Olympia Soiree is first anyway, because that's what I promised. And that's what I want to play. So, yes. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba. Until tomorrow, I'm gonna ask you all to stay electrifying. Kitty! Hey! Thank you for popping in for a little bit. I was doing my outro and then I got distracted. What was I saying? Oh, yes. Until the next time, I'm gonna ask you all to stay electrifying so I can zap you later. Bye-bye. Okay. Thanks for lurking, kitty. I appreciate it a lot. I'm sorry, I was in your stream for a little bit last night, but then I fell asleep again. After I threw up. Okay. Bye-bye now. Bye-bye-bye. Bye.